What's happening, good people? Welcome to the Wealth 100 Show. I'm your host, George Gilmore, and it's go time. Listen, guys, each week we bring on six-figure professionals and entrepreneurs who are winning in life and business. If you're ready to take your life to the next level, you found the right place. I need you to get into the room right now, guys. I'm putting you in the room with winners that will help push you towards your dreams. Finally, if you want to grow your business, grow your network, and live your dreams to the fullest, I encourage you to apply to the Wealth 100 Mastermind at thewealth100.com, where lives are being transformed through self-development and access to wealth-building opportunities. Welcome to the Wealth 100 Show. Let's go. What's happening, guys? Welcome to the Wealth 100 podcast. I am your host, George Gilmore, aka George G, the Coach. We got a special guest in the building today. We have my good friend, Dr. Jennifer Harris. What's going on, lady?
Hey,
How
George.
You doing? What's up? What's up? We finally got you down. We finally got you down here.
Listen, you know what I'm saying?
I knew you would show up. You should have been on here first or second. You know, which is crazy. You know who the first guest was?
Who?
TJ.
Oh,
and I met
that's
you.
how
I
we
met
met
you through TJ,
that's
which is
right.
crazy. I didn't think about that.
We met through my girlfriend Zena.
Zena,
Yeah,
that's
through
crazy.
TJ.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is supposed to be.
That's right.
How you
absolutely.
doing today?
I'm doing amazing.
Good.
Amazing. Thank you for embracing me on your stage.
Let's go.
I appreciate that.
Listen, guys. If you don't know Jennifer Sold It, of the Dr. Jennifer Harris, of the Jennifer Sold It team out of Raleigh, North Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Listen, you need to know. Listen, we're going to get down to business. It's not going to take a lot of your time today, but just want to give our audience some information about what you do, how you do it, and how they might be able to participate in what you're doing.
Okay.
In order to make some money.
Absolutely.
Because we're talking about some money.
Money.
All day. Let's get it. Listen, tell the people who you are, where you're from.
So I am Dr. Jennifer. They call me Dr. J of Real Estate, but
you're dunking on them. You're dunking on them. Dr. J of Real Estate.
I'm a sports girl.
Smack them.
But born and raised in the Carolinas, and formerly a network engineer. Mm-hmm. I thought that was my path. I love math, still do to this day.
So you're a smart lady. You said you just blew by network engineer that was. No, I ain't gonna say that. But anyway, like that was nothing. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, actually, my parents wanted me to become an engineer. Mm-hmm. There were not a lot of women, of course, that you see in there, and because I did well in math. So I pursued that path, but then I hated it. I really did, George. It was like going to work, answering the phone, then thinking that you're a secretary, and I'm managing multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar networks just like the men.
Right.
And I did that for about 7 years for a big company in Research Triangle Park. And then a lot of jobs started getting shifted overseas.
Gotcha.
So I was like, my daddy always told me, repair your roof while it's sunny outside.
Oh, snap. Not the wisdom.
That's right.
There you go. Not the wisdom.
Yeah, my dad was my first coach. So I started seeing a lot of that shift, and I decided to just jump into real estate, which is something that I love, and I've been doing it. This is my 18th, 19th year.
In real estate.
In real estate.
Okay. Let me take you back. You say you grew up in the Carolinas, and that would be more specific to
Raleigh, Wake Forest.
Wake Forest area. So you did, okay. All right. Tell us about that time. What were you, a 70s baby?
That's
70s,
right,
is that correct?
72.
Okay.
That's
72.
Right.
All right.
72, 70s baby.
Okay.
Thank God there was no social media back then, because when you turn up, you got to turn up behind the scenes.
I got you.
But thankfully, it wasn't no social media. But growing up in the South, as they call it, my dad did have to have the talk.
Okay.
With me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because you didn't see a lot of people that looked like us in that space. But I remember my dad being my first coach. Ever since age out 4 or 5 years old. You remember T-ball?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he made me play sports, made me play T-ball, but he was teaching me about just life in general.
So were you a tomboy?
I was kind of a little bit of a tomboy.
Okay, you look like a tomboy. I got you.
He taught me how to shoot guns at 12.
Really?
That's right.
Okay.
So I did ROTC because he was a veteran.
Okay.
Which is something I always love to honor the veterans. And then from there, it was just a matter of just, growing up. My mother was an educator, school teacher. So I had to pay attention, in school, not get in trouble. But growing up in our area was very close-knit. My parents were homeowners, which I think that's something that's always been instilled in me as a homeowner as an early age.
Gotcha.
And then entrepreneurship. My mother had a side hustle whenever she was a a school teacher. She kept a side hustle selling insurance. So I think I got a lot of that, from them. But just growing up in the South, we were, I don't know if you remember the store Hardee's.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I remember when Wake Forest got their first Hardee's. That used to be the hangout spot.
You got to be from North Carolina to know about Hardee's.
Yes.
Hardee's was a spot back in the day.
I called something, Carl's. But so growing up in the South, I loved it because everybody knew each other. You can go to each other's house.
Gotcha.
Yes, you had to be home before the street light was on.
Yes, sir.
But at the same time, we all looked out for each other. So I just loved that.
So talk to me a little bit about the educational piece. You ended up going to school at NC State, correct?
Well, actually, I went to Campbell University my freshman year.
Okay, I missed that.
Because I was going to do law. I wanted to do family law, but it was kind of racist at Campbell.
Say what you
you know what I mean? So Campbell.
Oh, snap. No, I don't want the Campbell people coming at me.
Don't come for us, Campbell.
It was what it was.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to do what
because at the time, law or pharmacy was what you did at the school. This was back in 1990, 91.
Right. Gotcha.
So you know how that is. The only black cheerleader, because I was a cheerleader back then.
Okay.
And so it was different.
You had those experiences.
That
we know about.
Exactly.
Part of the journey for us.
Part of the journey.
Yeah.
But my father always wanted me to go to NC State.
Okay.
So he was very disappointed when I didn't.
Okay.
Now, my dream school was Spelman.
Okay.
And I got accepted to Spelman. I just knew I was going to be in Atlanta, gone. And he was just like, no, you're not.
Really? Okay.
And so he wouldn't allow me to go to a black university, but I think it's also more so just being away and staying focused.
Gotcha.
So I went to NC State, which was great for my resume. Did business management, concentration in marketing engineering. So that's how all of that came about.
Marketing engineering.
Marketing and engineering. So I kind of got the double.
Okay, you got a double major?
A minor and a major.
You're just real smart. I thought that's why I like you're a smart lady. Anyway, so you did that and you ended up being a network engineer.
Exactly.
And how many years did you say you did
I did that for about 7 years.
About 7 years.
In Research Triangle Park. So I did all the certifications from Cisco routers. I used to manage Bay routers, switches, hubs. I used to teach like A+, those type of things at the computer lab. Okay. So I really loved computers on that.
Okay. And so at some point you said you just got disappointed with the work. You didn't like what you were doing at that particular point. How many years you said?
I did that for about 7 years.
7 years, and then you began to transition to real estate.
Yes.
Okay.
And so my love for real estate came when I was in Amway back when I was like 18, 19 years old.
Well, you were trying to get all the money early.
I was trying to get all the money. Listen,
not
you had
Amway.
to do something in that house. That big A.
That's right. I got it. Look, I was in it too. I get it.
Everybody I think was in it.
Absolutely.
But it was also because my godparents actually sold the products. So that's how I kind of found out about it. Gotcha. My parents were a consumer of it. And I was like, okay, what is this? But I love the personal development. But they used to have something which we still do to this day called Parade of Homes. And it's where you would go around just looking at all the different houses, dream building. And that's how my love for real estate came about.
I didn't know they had the Parade of Homes that far back. I think I discovered the Parade of Homes early 2000s.
Oh, no.
In
Raleigh. It goes back into the 90s.
Really? Okay, so I missed those times. I used to come there, look at houses, but I didn't know they had that show, that particular show. But anyway, go ahead with the real estate.
So that's how my love for real estate came about. And then when my engineering position switched me to weekend nights. That's the devil, Jerry. That's the devil right there.
I got you.
Weekend nights, going in Friday night, working till Saturday morning, Saturday night, Saturday morning, all that. No, that's for the birds. So I just was like, let me just take this opportunity. And I also knew that a lot of positions were getting eliminated. So I had to do something to, sustain that income. Which again, my dad said, repair your roof while it's sunny outside.
That's right. You did say that at the beginning.
And I did that. And so I jumped into real estate, was doing that full time. And then 6 months later, my position ended and I never looked back.
You never went back. You stayed in the real estate. So tell us about your brokerage now in Raleigh. Tell us about what you do on a day-to-day basis.
So I'm with a huge brokerage. We have 3 offices in Raleigh, Cary, and Chapel Hill. So being a real estate broker, you can run your own team, but I also look at my team as far as like other vendors that I work with, from the attorneys to the contractors. that perspective,
Yes,
because I
ma'am.
do commercial and also residential.
Okay.
And then I branched off into Atlanta as far as reciprocity there with Atlanta. So I'm with the same company which is with Remax.
Okay, so is Atlanta new to you right now? Are you just
It's
getting
not
there?
new to me going,
Right.
but I've been sending referrals or doing deals
For other
and
people
things
down
like
there?
for other people.
I got you.
And I just decided, you know what? Let me just go ahead and fulfill that dream of
I think
having
Atlanta.
a
I
second
think Atlanta would be a
location.
great spot for you. Your personality, the way you deal with people. From what I know of you, I think it's going to be a good deal for you
Thank
when you
you.
get down there. So
I'm excited
you already
about
set
it.
up in the office down there.
Already
Where
set
you
up.
At? Where's it?
It's on Virginia Avenue,
And which office is it?
Remax Metro, City Side.
Okay, all right. We're looking forward to that. So how was the transition? Well, I guess you're still in Raleigh and you're in Atlanta. What was that? What does that transition look like for you?
So because I've been going back and forth to Atlanta for 30 plus years, I'm not new to the area.
I got you.
And the growth that's been happening in Atlanta. So this year they're actually predicting that Atlanta, Sandy Springs, Marietta is going to be kind of number one, leading with real estate, and then Raleigh Durham is number two.
Really?
So I feel like that's
you're in
coming
the two
from
two hot
that's
spots.
the two hot spots.
Again, trying to get it all.
That's
Leave
right.
some for the rest of the
two
folks.
hot
But anyway,
spots. So
I got you.
I'm looking forward to those partnerships, working with some developers there, also here in the Raleigh area.
Okay.
My big goal is to have a subdivision where we can house others like that look like us,
I got
in
you.
entrepreneurship.
Yeah, develop some subdivisions.
That's
I get
right.
it. Look, talk to me a little bit about, I know you're killing the real estate game, but I've known you almost 10 years now, and I know you touch a lot of other things in the entrepreneurial space. So talk to me a little bit about some of the many things that you're doing.
So in the entrepreneurship space, I'm really, really big on women. Pretty much women attaining financial freedom over their lives.
Gotcha.
And so I created an organization, a movement called Purses, Pumps, and Power. And so that's where you have women that have 7 purses of wealth. From your real estate purse. We can buy purses all day long, but your real estate purse.
I've seen that before.
You got to have some nice purses now.
I've seen it
but it's
before.
also what's in your purse that matters, not what
Thank
type
you.
of purse.
Ding, 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 ding. Ladies, did y'all hear that? What's in the purse?
That's just
Talk
what's
to
in
'em.
the purse
Talk
that
to 'em.
matters. And so you got your real estate purse, you've got your stocks purse, you've got your investments purse, and those are some different, streams as far as I form it in purses
I got you.
for women. And so we've been helping women in the States, of course, to Africa and Ghana and Kenya and those places. We also looking to take it to Dubai, but I love Dubai. And then also in Birmingham in UK.
I got you. Look, I know you talked a lot about the UK, but let me take you back.
Okay.
We got to go all the way back. You already jumped over to another continent. So let's go to this Africa deal.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Africa. How did you get involved with Africa? Tell us about that.
So let me tell you about the power of events. So I was getting honored with a few awards, women's awards, and this was back in, I think, 2018. And so I was at an event. The gentleman that was putting it on, his name is Dr. Rivers, and he has this organization called I Change Nations. And he's been to over 70 different countries. And so he was the one that was doing the award. And so during the first part of the session, before it started, he asked me, he said, "What are you working on?" And I was like, "Well, I'm working on my book, and it's called The Black Woman's Declaration of Independence." And he stopped me right then, George. He was like, "I want to do the forward to the book."
Okay.
I was like, okay. And then from there, he said, if you get me a hard copy of that book, I would get it into all the African mothers, queen mothers over in
Really?
Africa. So that was my introduction into Africa.
Okay.
And so I finished the book, and I got invited to go to Uganda was my first introduction, and being able to meet some kings and first ladies.
Okay.
And so from there, I ended up, he asked me to be a part of his kind of like entourage.
Gotcha.
Or his group of people, his team.
His team that he was building.
Yeah,
I get
his
it.
team that he
Yeah.
was building, and I've been doing that since 2018.
Okay. So you're in Uganda, you're in Kenya. Now you're telling me you're doing some things in Ghana also.
With Ghana, yep.
That's interesting because I have a deep love for Ghana. My first time going to Africa was 2016 with our mutual friend.
Yep.
We went in 2016. We stayed like 12, 13 days.
Okay.
Absolutely incredible.
Ghana?
In Ghana.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, if you have not been to Ghana,
that's right.
It's catching on now. I think we were a little bit early in 2016.
Yeah.
We had some opportunities over there that we didn't pursue that we should have pursued.
Right.
But now everybody's I ain't gonna say everybody. A lot of people are starting to catch on.
The buzz.
That Ghana is popping. That Africa is popping.
Yeah.
It's the next frontier.
Oh yeah.
You can.
And it's
our
always
country
been there.
it's always been there. Our country oftentimes sleeps on Africa.
Oh yeah.
That's where all the resources are.
That's where the resources are.
We're there. They're just not telling you that we're there. Okay, let's go.
China is all over Africa.
Everywhere you go in Africa,
Yep.
China is there.
China, the British.
Where some of the other countries,
Italians.
They're there.
Yep.
Getting the resources, setting up businesses.
Right.
Making money.
Right.
And oftentimes our community has been so poisoned in the mind about, you don't want to go to Africa. Listen, it's the motherland.
Right.
What you doing?
Motherland.
Let's go over there, because that's one of my things. I want to help connect the diaspora.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look, they dropped us off everywhere, okay? Let's just be clear. We were dropped off everywhere. So that's the diaspora.
Right.
We need to connect all those points and go back home.
That's right.
Let's connect.
And then when they opened up in 2019, you probably heard a lot of celebrities
they're there.
Going there.
Yeah,
Stevie Wonder, Steve Harvey, all of them.
Yeah, I see Steve's killing it over there.
Yeah.
Got a full-blown production studio or whatever over there. That's insane. That's insane. But the opportunities
it is amazing.
There. So tell me what you're seeing in Africa since you've been going, because every time I look, it seems like you're over there every 2 months.
So I'm working on dual citizenship for sure.
Which country?
In Ghana.
You're going to do Ghana?
Yes,
Okay.
I've been to Ghana many, many times.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same.
And the thing I love about Ghana is that, number one, the food,
incredible,
the people, the hospitality, just the mindset. Because, there truly, if you don't work, you don't eat.
Right.
And all day. You
working.
Can't rely on the government to give you,
anything.
No Section 8. There's no none of that. But I love the mindset and the hustle because they're brilliant. We are brilliant people.
Absolutely.
Which is why they start to take a lot of our inventions and our ideas for themselves and package it, which is why they're not talking about all the brilliant minds. Because, one of the gentlemen that is out of D.C., the African Historical Museum.
That
absolutely. Person that designed that whole thing from Ghana.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Oh, it was genius. When we were there, we were in Tima. Was it Tima? I think Tima. We were in the ghetto of Tima, and they took us to a not a primary school. Kids were 3 to 5 years old.
Right.
And these kids were doing multiplication at 3.
Yes, right.
Just throwing it, spitting it out like that. I'm like, wait a minute now.
Yes.
Like, how y'all? I'm in the ghetto.
Right.
Education was very important to them.
That's
right.
And
I think one of the things that we're lacking as African Americans over here, oftentimes we just want to push the education to the side.
Right.
I'm in the ghetto of Ghana, and they're spitting out multiplication like they're in the 8th grade, 9th grade.
Or the villages.
In the villages, yeah, in the villages also. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
So the thing also about Ghana is that the land, all the kings, they own the land. So the government has to come to them for the land. And so that's one of the big projects I'm working on is working with the farmers to the miners. And I don't know if you remember like going down to where some of the castles are, the slave castles.
Yeah, on the coast. Yeah.
So whenever you're riding down, and I remember being hosted by Dr. Francis, who was an engineer. He's a miner, but he's an engineer by trade. But he actually is the one that they all fly in to train.
I got you.
All the miners come in, and he's working on some big projects with that. And I remember asking him, "What is that coming out of the ground? That's literally gold.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Coming out of the ground, and you're looking like I will be doggone."
That is true. You do see it when you're there. It's like,
and
really
it's just
surprising.
like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why Ghana is so important to just our history, to the development of other people. Do you know that someone can literally go to a university for like $1,000?
Right.
$1,000 US dollars.
Yeah.
They can go to college for a whole year. And we tend to take advantage of people that are wanting to get a better education and get them into all this debt. So don't let me rant about that.
Oh, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. We've got a friend, the guy that took us, that we went to Ghana with, is a Ghanaian, but he was in the U.S. military on the restaurant here in North Carolina. And we went back and we stayed with his family and whatnot while we were there. But they're over there doing a lot of stuff now in the agricultural space. And he also has a friend from St. Louis who packed up and moved. He just got fed up with the U.S., packed up and moved, and he's doing development in Ghana right now in the Aburi Mountains, Aburi.
Yep, I was there in those mountains.
Well, he's got 50 townhouses going up literally right now. I think he just sold the last one, and it's getting crazy. So he's bringing investors and other black folks over there to build out.
Yeah, those mountains are gorgeous.
Yeah,
so
we never got up there. I don't think I got up to Aburi.
Well, when you go up there, you can actually overlook all of Accra.
Okay.
Up there in the mountains, they're building like these multi-million-dollar houses. They're building regular houses. You got some of the other builders like Indigo Homes. They're building there as well. But yeah, as far as the developments, there was this other development lakeside because it depends on who owns the land, which of course a lot of the kings own the land. So they do a lot of the 55-year lease on the land, and then that builder or developer would come in and build those houses. But there were some like 3-3s, 3-bedroom, 3 baths that people were getting for like $57,000.
That's what his townhouse is at $50,000.
Exactly.
Right at $50,000. He's like, you need to get in now.
And when I tell you, they put,
the craftsmanship is off the charts.
Amazing, amazing.
Off the
charts. And they
charts.
sell just like that. So those are the type of things we're doing with some builders as well.
With some of the builders over there. I was going to tell you something else about Africa. It slipped my mind. So it's a lot. We'll probably end up coming back to it because it slipped my mind.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Dr. Jennifer Harris. Where did that come from? What happened with that? What happened with that? Dr. J, tell me about that.
Dr. J, okay.
Yes,
so again, through this partnership with Kiowa University, I was actually given an honorary doctorate through the work that I like to do with the veterans to also the international work. So they gave me an honorary doctorate from Kiowa University.
And where's that?
That's in Uganda.
That's in Uganda. Okay, absolutely.
And
okay.
actually, they got named one of the top universities when this article that just came out. They actually got named one of the top universities for people doing business or just speaking in general. So it's been amazing on that.
Well, I'm seeing you all over there with the queens and the kings. I'm like, look at my girl. She's killing them. I love it. Look, we're going to talk a little bit about mindset, impact, influence.
Okay.
I know you told me that your dad was like one of the major influences, your dad and your mom.
Absolutely.
Are there any other influential people or influencers that you look up to?
Oh, yeah. I definitely have always had mentors, even if it's going through different, organizations, masterminds, I guess that sometimes they call them inner circles, communities, whatever they're called now. But definitely my father, I know my mother as well as my spiritual leaders that I have that's in my life. Bishop T.D. Jakes is one that has been really, really a big influence on my life. And I think because of the fact I see him I see him as a bishop, yes, but he's an entrepreneur first.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, he's a businessman.
Yeah, and
that's what he does.
He's been great at merging the two together, so I don't feel like I have to do this or that. Of course, Myron Golden. I'm a big. He's been one of my big mentors.
The genius.
He
is a genius.
Let's see, Dr. Darius Daniels, he's actually one of my mentors. Let me see who else. Jack Canfield, he actually interviewed me.
You did some stuff with Canfield. Yeah, he interviewed you. Okay, I was
about
y'all
5 years
listening?
ago.
My girl been interviewed by Canfield. What's it? Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Yes,
sir.
Jack Canfield interviewed me, and he gave me a testimonial that I was like, okay, Jen, you got to.
Jen, are you listening to the stuff you're saying? Are you listening to things? Seriously.
I know.
You've done a lot of stuff here. The folks know you.
Yeah.
We got to go to another level this year.
I know.
It's 2023. I hope y'all heard what she said. She does masterminds, inner circles. This is the Wealth 100 podcast based on the Wealth 100 Mastermind. If you are lacking, wanting to go to the next level from an entrepreneurial perspective or a professional perspective, you need to check in with the Wealth 100 Mastermind. Back to you. But anyway, I'm cutting up.
No. But I'm so proud of you for creating that whole space and a safe space, even for men. And I think now you're letting the ladies tap in.
Yeah,
right?
we started off. The Wealth 100 started off with men at first, and then somebody spoke to me and said, "Hey, man, let's allow the ladies in." She's definitely the first person to say, "Hey, where the women at?" and I did that. I did the men thing first.
Yeah.
There was a specific reason that I did that.
I know.
But the group is growing now.
Yeah.
And we're ready to take this thing around the country, man, and just take it to the next level. So I'll be spending a little bit more time.
That's right.
In Atlanta, where she's at,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You know, because we need to get some of y'all in the room. Houston, Dallas.
That's right.
DC, Chicago. Wealth 100. Y'all need to tap into wealth100.com.
That's right.
But anyway, back to the, you said your dad and
As far as the influencers. Yeah, for sure. Because my dad being my first coach.
Because I always, the time that I've known you has always been, my daddy said, my daddy said, my daddy said, my daddy said. And I get it. Any books in particular that have helped you on your journey?
Let's see. I have a stack of books. Of course, Think and Grow Rich. We always know about that one. But Think and Grow Rich, The Black Choice.
Absolutely.
By Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, who has been
ma'am.
another one of my big mentors. Dr. George C. Frazier.
Yeah, he is one of your
He's
mentors.
actually one of my mentors
absolutely.
as well. He came to my event in October, which you got a chance to meet him.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
You just mentioned Dr. Frazier. My next guest that's coming up after you in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
He's sitting in the waiting room right now. He just met with Dr. Frazier this past week in Charlotte.
Nice.
Just met with, he's trying to build I might not better say that. He's getting ready to build something.
Build something.
Yeah, getting ready to build something.
So Dr. George C. Frazier's been one of my mentors for about 22 years.
Wow.
And his book, Success Runs in Our Race.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Fire.
then exactly.
Straight
up fire. And of course I've been coaching and doing some events for Dr. Frazier. And
that's right. I keep forgetting you were a coach at what's the event? What is his
his Power Networking
Conference. That's right. How many times have you been a coach at that?
About 2 or 3 years.
Okay,
yep.
cool.
And then I also was coaching for Black Enterprise.
Okay, you did.
And things.
I'm like, we're gonna talk off camera. I'm like,
but no. So as far as like my mentors have always, and you know what's interesting? I thought about that. I was like, my mentors have always been men.
Yeah.
And I think that's because of the relationship I had with my dad.
That's definitely probably the factor in that.
Yeah. Not saying I don't get coached by women. I do have women that's speak into my life, but I know for me, it's like I think maybe just the way I've been groomed with that. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about mindset for what you're doing. If somebody's out here, look, I'm a real estate broker, I'm trying to kill the game, not killing it, or I'm an entrepreneur out here doing some things. Talk to them a little bit about mindset and what you've learned over the years.
Mindset is definitely key because those 2 skills my daddy taught me. I know people be like, oh, your daddy. That part, Wilbert Harris. But no, so mindset and skill set.
Gotcha.
And I think because too, if you don't have the right mindset, and you're constantly working on it. So don't think just because you've achieved a certain spot or position that you don't have to work on your mindset.
Absolutely.
So mindset and skill set. Because the other thing is, if you have the right mindset and the right skill set, you can get dropped anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country. You can lose everything, which I have lost everything and had to start over again. But that's the 2 things they cannot take away from you.
You sound like my dad. He used to tell me growing up, he's like, listen, son, they can take everything away from me. You can drop me in a forest with nothing.
That's right.
I'll come out of the forest with a bag full of pine cones, and
do
they're
it
for sale.
Bigger and better.
They're for sale.
That's right.
Right now. That's
right.
Absolutely.
And that takes a special mindset. So working on your mindset is, just what you're saying to yourself, like what are you pouring in? Of course, TV, it's all well and fine, but what are you pouring in? Like, what are your affirmations, your declarations? Because when I was in a room with Steve Harvey at one of his VIP lunches, Steve said, write down 500 things that you want to do. And I looked at him like, 500?
Do I really want to do 500 things?
But not just about wanting to do it. Your mind, it's hard to comprehend writing down that many things. So when I was on the plane, I was just like, okay, I barely could get to 60 or 70, but that's just how much we don't unlock our minds.
We limit ourselves.
We limited ourselves. And you don't even have to have the money. I have literally written down things. And then I'm like, oh my God, it's coming to pass. Because Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain, right?
Now she's preaching.
But no.
Dr. Harris.
That comes from your mindset. And if your mind can't conceive it or believe it, you can't achieve it.
Absolutely.
And it comes from the mind.
Absolutely. A lot of people fail to write down their stuff. You know what I mean? You got these ideas. I used to be bad for it.
Yeah.
I would have these ideas in my mind. Oh, I got it.
Or dreams come to you.
Yeah.
And then you sit here and be like, oh, I write it down, and it just totally leave you. Yeah. That's God giving you your mindset.
It's incredible. I don't know how many of you guys do do the what do you call it? The boards. What do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Vision boards.
Vision board. I don't know why I'm slipping right now. I know you've done this. Put stuff on a board.
That's like I had Oprah on my board for like 7 years.
And forget about it.
Right.
And then you look up 7 years later, you're like, yo, I accomplished that.
That's
I forgot about it. But anyway, you just said Oprah. Talk to me. You said the word Oprah. I stopped. Wait a minute. Talk to me about Oprah. I forgot that you were called up on stage by Oprah.
No,
what happened?
I literally, talking about dreaming and vision boards, I literally had on my vision board a picture of Oprah and a picture of myself, like right there on there for like 7 years.
Wow.
And then when she put out that she was going to be doing her Life You Want tour, I was like, all my friends said, oh, we're going to get VIP tickets. So it's like, okay, cool. So we all signed up. I signed up 2 emails, 2 emails, but the invitation only came to 1. So thank God I signed up 2, right? That was that March. Then the tickets started going on sale. We got them. I got my VIP ticket. You only had to, they would not let you leave a seat right beside it, right? So they would like $1,000 each. So I was like, well, dang. And I knew I just closed the commission check, so I went ahead and just got seat number 1 and seat number 2. Then talking back to my friends that we all said we were going to do VIP seats, they ended up getting seats on the side.
Got you.
I was like, man. So I went ahead and got seats on the side. And I was going to sell the other 2 tickets because her VIP sold out in like an hour. I was like, okay. I then went back and later on found out that God was like, no, don't sell those seats. And VIP doesn't mean very important person. It means very important position.
Oh, I knew you were getting ready to slap him with something.
I
knew you were going to slap somebody in the mouth with that. Right? I was waiting for you.
So very important positioning, because oftentimes we want to go to the next level, but we don't position ourselves to do that next level. Later on, I found out it was a possible meet and greet with her. That, they didn't even have that even on there on the VIP part. So I convinced one of my best friends, Zena, to get the other seat. So we went, it was in Atlanta, so we ended up going. And then that Friday evening, I got a chance to meet her. We took a picture together and stuff. And literally, from where this table is right there to where I was just that close. That's how the stage was. And she was just talking about her story and everything that she went over. And how you're like, amen, and all these other things. So when I went in to take my picture with her, she says, oh, you're my amen girl. And she grips my hand. That never has left me, ever. So the following day, Chris Rock and Tony Rock's mother was down on the floor as well, right? So mind you, being on the front row, 2 seats behind me was Iyanla Vanzant. I don't know if you know Deepak Chopra.
Absolutely.
Deepak Chopra, so I got a chance to take a picture with him. I think a lot of people didn't really know who he was. So I looked back and I was like, can I take a picture? And I did like this, and he goes, I went back, got my picture, went back to my seat. But make a long story short, she has this wheel that she told everybody to write in. And it was, you take a circle and you put all the areas of your life, from your financial to your mental to your health and all of these things. So I had all of these things written up. So she had brought up Chris Rock and Tony Rock's mother to share. And then the next thing you know, she looks down and she says, you come up here. I don't remember nothing, G. I don't remember nothing. And my girlfriend Zena was like, Jen, she's talking to you. I got up and here it is. And this was like in the big, huge Georgia Dome. And so my friends started texting me. They was like, oh my God, that's Jen, that's Jen. Now, mind you, if I sold those tickets and went over there with them, I would have missed that moment for something that I had on my vision board to come to pass.
Investing in yourself.
Investing in yourself.
Are you listening? Investing in yourself. Quit waiting for the opportunity to come to you. You got to get up. Sometimes even get on a plane, get in the car, guys.
Exactly.
And go chase that opportunity.
Quit
waiting for it to show up in your town. You hear people all the time, well, I would go if they came to my city.
It's not
coming to your city looking for you.
That's right.
But it is looking for you, guys.
That's right.
It's looking for you.
Right.
I love
Faith
that.
without works is dead. That's right.
Listen, there she go preaching again. Dr. Reverend. I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing. But if you look back over your life, you got to think, this is some stuff right here.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, I do.
The things that you really, so many things you've called into existence and so many things that just happened by just being in the right place.
That's right.
And having faith in yourself and your dreams.
That's
actually.
right. That's right.
Because a lot of people have these dreams but are scared to pursue them.
Scared to pursue them. And I even promised God when I was on my deathbed, in the hospital from trying to take my life the second time.
So you didn't get into that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you go into that however you want to do.
Yeah. So I, of course, grew up, my dad, my family, all of us were very close, but I was the type of person that more of an introvert, and I'm still more of an introvert, but I had to learn to maneuver between, I am an introvert.
Anyway,
but I had to learn to maneuver in my confidence and just feeling better about myself and not just looking good, but also feeling good on the inside. Because there was some, childhood trauma of things, not anything from my parents, but I think a lot of times in the Black community, we shove a lot of things under the rug and we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Or we will put somebody in a position to not talk about it, and then they're just carrying those things. Even little boys, little Black boys. And I think now you're starting to hear about a lot of those things. And there was a situation where I just didn't even care about even being here.
Gotcha.
And so now, when I was in the bed for about 3 years in the hospital with tubes down me and all of those things, I promised God, you get me out of this situation, I will forever use my life to either advance it for other people, to tell my story. And I just started getting more. And, after that, my parents put me through Barbizon, modeling to get my confidence up. And that's why Amway was totally perfect because of the self-development with those things. And, here we are today.
I want to thank you for being willing, because I didn't know you were going to share that. You've told me before. Thank you for being aware and conscious enough and feeling like it was okay to share that. Because there's always somebody that needs to hear somebody else who's been through that particular struggle. Thank you. I thank you for that.
Well,
thank you for my audience. Look at you. Love you, girl.
I
You winning.
appreciate it.
You winning. Look at her. You winning.
Don't
you
make
winning.
me. I'm not
I
gonna
see you.
shed
She
no
like she about to
tears.
tear up, y'all. Y'all not looking at her. I'm looking at her. She about to tear up on me. It's
I'm
all
not
right.
gonna
This is
do
my
it.
homegirl, though. Now. We family, man. We a
Yeah.
family. I love you to death, Jen.
I love you to life.
Listen.
To
Life to life. There you go.
That's right.
Get those words straight.
I love you to life.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about advice you would have for up-and-coming entrepreneurs.
So my advice to entrepreneurs is to not only take the jump, because that's one of the chapters in my book, pretty much taking the jump into your life, jump into your dreams, but to have a plan. Because oftentimes we're just like, oh, let me go and do this, let me go to do that. But invest in somebody that's done that, so that way you can eliminate wasted time, wasted energy, wasted money, because you don't know everything. And I think sometimes entrepreneurs are like, well, I want to do this, but then I want to do that. It's okay to do both sometimes. You know what I mean? And it's not a destination, it's a journey.
It's definitely a journey.
You have to, right. And being an entrepreneur since I was 19, 20 years old, and here I am, you talking about 30 plus years, I look back on what I would have done differently. And I think, because another thing that my dad, and I credit it back to him, he made me once a quarter, January and then April, once a quarter, I had to show him my goals.
Gotcha.
I had to show him what I'm working on.
He was ahead of his time.
He was ahead of his time.
In our community,
right.
Became the goal.
So I had to do that, and I had to do that at a young age. So it caused me to form a plan, and I had to pitch it to him, right? Or he'd be like, well, how are you going to do this? And he would make me think it out, because one thing he was like, in all things, keep a cool head. But he was a planner and a visionary, even though he never went to college, never did any of that. But he could lead in the form of being an entrepreneur and the head of the household. So what I would say to any other entrepreneur, you got to make sure that you're writing out your plan, like writing out your vision, and then researching to see, like the Wealth 100. You have other entrepreneurs that's a part of your group that they can sit here and get advice from. Like, what would you do differently, or what would you do that you saving, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Absolutely.
As far as time-wise. So the biggest thing is investing in themselves to find out not only what you want to do, but who are you going to collaborate with to do it.
Gotcha. I love that word, collaboration. Because oftentimes as entrepreneurs, we think we got to do it all on our own.
That's right. You go crazy.
Let me give you a word, guys. You can't do it all on your own. You can try, you can't go but so far. You got to build some team. You got to have the confidence and then the capacity to take yourself to higher heights. You cannot just do it by yourself.
That's right.
You'll do all right. You can do all right. For many years, I tried to do it by myself. And it took me a while to learn. You need to put a few pieces around you because you can't do everything.
And you know why I get that often times people are like, well, why are you staying with Remax? Why don't you just go ahead and be out on your own? Well, 100% of zero is zero. You see what I'm saying? Like, I literally leverage their marketing. I leverage their network of people. I leverage 50 years of them. You see what I'm saying? And I get a lot of people that contact me just because I am with that particular brand. I build my own brand within it, but don't think that you have to have your specific name on something to make money. Like, no.
It's still yours.
It's still mine.
It's still yours. You're just leveraging the opportunity through their bigger name. I mean, it's just a bigger platform.
A bigger platform.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. And that's, how do I say this? If you want to be independent, do it. If you don't, do what works for you. Yeah. That's the thing.
You're still going to have to work regardless.
Still got to work. Yeah, you're going to do that work. Right. You're going to do that. You got to get that work.
But would you rather have 100 wealth minds speaking to you know,
I get exactly where you're going.
Or would you just be trying to do it all by yourself?
Myself, knowing nothing.
No, nothing.
She just sold y'all again the Wealth 100 podcast. I do commercials right in the middle of my podcast, the Wealth 100 podcast, guys. Yeah. Entrepreneurs, six-figure guys, and ladies and gentlemen, want to go to the next level. You need some help. You need a tribe. You need a group of like-minded people that want to help you succeed. Probably more than you want to succeed. We're going to give you that courage.
That's right.
The contacts that you need.
That's right.
Check into the Wealth 100 podcast. Last commercial I'm going to do before we
relationships matter.
It's definitely about relationship.
It is.
It's all about relationship. Actually, it's probably after believing in yourself, relationship.
That's right.
Believing in yourself, who you know.
That's right.
I'm just telling you.
My daddy said that too. Who you know?
You don't know nobody? Sorry, you're not getting none.
That's right.
None for you.
You're not going to get far at all.
Not going to get anything. Talk to me about one of the biggest mistakes that you see entrepreneurs make when they're starting off. I have a pet peeve. Look, I asked you the question. I have a pet peeve of watching entrepreneurs in my community oftentimes. I'm starting a cleaning service. And they go and literally get a 5,000 square foot warehouse, 2 trucks, this or that. Nothing. Hey man, you're just starting off. You don't have to have the biggest and the best of everything. You need to get it off the ground. You need to get a contract. I'd prefer you get a contract, work out your car, and get it done. Right. But oftentimes that's one of my things. I see them with the big office, the big desk. I don't care what space you're in. Right. I was in the mental health business for 30 years, still in it. I would see people go out. They go rent the big $4,000 a month office space and got a big desk with president on it.
Looking good.
What does that mean? What does that mean? I worked off a Walmart table for 20 years. It don't matter to me. I work off a table now. I love a table because I got the space. But anyway, you know what I mean? And I think people may mess up a lot of times by spending all your money at the beginning. But anyway.
And again, that comes from not using wisdom.
There you go.
And the other biggest mistake I find that entrepreneurs make is not doing the research of, am I going to even make money in this industry? Just because somebody else is saying, I want to get into the Airbnb space, or I want to get into the healthcare space. What kind of income are you literally going to make, and what does it cost to do that? You see what I mean? Like, just because it's the hot thing that's popping, it may not be the hot thing popping for you.
And that's the problem right now, see? Right. Because you go on Instagram, and you follow.
You think
everything popping.
Everything
popping.
Oh,
I'm doing Airbnbs. I'm doing event space. Right. I'm doing salon suites. I'm doing trucking. Right. I'm doing
e-commerce.
I mean, it's all out there. You can make money with all of it, but you need to try to pick one, no more than 3. That's
pick what's best for them.
There you go.
Like, have you even sat down and been like, what do I even like to do? Because it all looks sweet.
It looks sweet when you're making money.
Because they're sitting here telling you what they're making, but they're not telling you what they're spending.
Are they telling you the pitfalls?
They're not.
Are they telling you when they're getting knocked in the head? Because I'm going to tell you right now, after 30 years of entrepreneurship, there's going to be days where you get knocked out, where you're almost bankrupt. You're going up, you're going down. You're going
I found bankruptcy before.
You're going to talk to them. Most business owners have.
Right. That's
most business owners have. They're not going to tell you that. If you talk to a bankruptcy attorney, they'll tell you most of the biggest businesses in any town that you've been in have filed bankruptcy 1 to 2 times.
That's right. multiple times.
Multiple times, exactly.
You know,
and still winning.
And
look,
that's how they're doing the leveraging. So the other thing I see entrepreneurs making a mistake is thinking it's going to happen overnight.
No, not going to happen like that.
It's not going to happen overnight.
Persistence.
Even those that are looking in the real estate, because I've been through many different, you know,
my God. The cycles of real estate.
The cycles of real estate to the market crashes to, and it's all well and fine when they see, oh, you made $10,000 off of this or $12,000 off of that, and not doing them during taxes. Keep on if you want to.
They're gonna get to you
because, like again, 100% of zero is zero. Like when you really think about it.
Got you.
And then on top of that, not setting up the right structure for the state that you're in, the type of business you want to be in. My attorney, she loved me because I keep her on dial. You know, Tony.
Tell me
Loke,
something.
Yeah, she actually caused me to really think about not just being an entrepreneur, but being a true boss. You know, a true CEO, and thinking like a CEO. Because there's another book called You Inc. You know, you heard of it, You Inc. And then a book called Profit First.
Yeah,
have you read?
Absolutely. I haven't read it, but I definitely heard of it.
So Profit First, when you sit here laying out different structures and thinking it through, because other than that, you're only just gonna have a glorified job. You ain't gonna be really a true CEO. You just got a glorified job.
Most people don't understand. Average entrepreneur makes $50,000.
Do you know that an average real estate agent makes like $30,000?
Yeah, I can believe it.
A year.
I can believe
Not a month.
I can believe
Not an hour.
I can believe
Not a deal. A year.
It ain't all sweet, my friend. It ain't all
not.
sweet. It's good when it's good though. It's
And
good
when it's not, when it's not.
When it's bad, it's bad. Look, I've had you here for like 45 minutes. I'm not going to keep you all day. I definitely have another guest coming up next. I want to introduce you to him before you leave.
Absolutely.
Like I said, with Samet.
Okay.
And you guys, I'm sure you have some synergies there.
Okay.
Something y'all might, some business,
of course,
particularly in the Wake County area. Listen, guys, we're going to let Miss Harris, Dr. Harris, get back to Raleigh. I thank you for coming down here. I'm going to ask you one more question before we close. If you were to win $20 million, no, I got two more questions. If you were to win $20 million today, what would you do? Would you continue doing what you're doing, or would you be like, I'm good?
I would continue to do what I'm doing. I will. I would purchase some land for my veteran center that I want to build, my women's center I want to build. I would definitely be doing some homes in Ghana. I'll be doing the same thing I'm doing now.
Listen,
and then on top of that, I would, I would start my fund like I'm starting up, of course. But yeah, $20 million. I would also leverage it into. I would definitely leverage it into some other things, like when I was telling you about where I was in a few weeks ago. Seeing how they're like looking at 20 million like it's nothing. And I said, okay, I'm glad I got into those type of rooms because they're managing 350 million, in assets.
And a lot of times in our community, we miss some things when it comes to numbers. I was talking to a family friend of mine who was developing an apartment complex. It's going to cost like $12 million to build. And he was telling me that they literally told him, please don't come to us with a $12 million deal. They don't even want to look at you.
They don't want to look at
the deal is $90 to $100 million.
That's right.
That's the baseline for developing apartments.
That's right.
To get money.
Absolutely.
They'll throw the money at you.
Absolutely.
You got a solid plan at that level. But $12 million is, he said it was like, that's nothing to them. That's wasted. They can't make no money on that.
That's right.
It's just incredible that like the numbers that we're seeing.
It goes back to mindset.
Yeah, definitely mindset. You got to expand.
Yeah.
You definitely got to expand that mindset.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, 20 million,
you good?
Yeah. We can do some things with 20 million. We'll turn that into 100,
So tell the folks where they can find Dr. Jennifer Harris at on social media. And how do they get in contact with you?
I am on social. I know I should be posting a lot better.
Oh, she was dope. Whoa,
but
I'm
I
not
be out here working this, and
nothing.
that's the next thing I'm building in my social team, social media team. But I'm on Instagram. I am Jennifer Harris. Twitter, I'm on, Jennifer Sold It, and Facebook and LinkedIn, Jennifer Harris. Okay. So I know it's a lot of Jennifer Harris's, or you can go to jenniferharris.com.
That's right.
How about that?
Dr. J of Real Estate in the building. Listen.
Yes.
Listen, my sister, and for real, my sister, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming to visit us and grace us with your beautiful presence today and letting the people,
We both wore the same color today.
Oh, it was
Didn't
on.
even
It was on. I didn't even know. I didn't ask you. I did not ask you. I was like, let me put something on and go down here. Listen, I do thank you. And let's take over the world.
Absolutely.
Listen, guys, this is the end of the Wealth 100 podcast for today. I thank you for tuning in. Again, if you're looking for that next level in your life, you've been messing around with your dream. You've been playing with it. You've had this dream for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. You need some help, man. I want you to check in with me, even if you need personal business coaching. I am telling you, after 30 years of entrepreneurship, I promise you I can help you get to another level. I don't know if it's the highest level, but I promise you I can get you to another level that will be impactful for you and your family. I promise you that the Wealth 100 Mastermind can help you get to another level. Again, tap into the Wealth 100. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Wealth 100 Show. Today's show has been sponsored by the Wealth 100 Mastermind. If you're ready to join a tribe of winners, if you want to be a part of the best mastermind on the planet, go to thewealth100.com right now and apply. I need you to get into the room right now, guys. Let's go. Thewealth100.com.